Boston Celtics and Philadelphia 76ers has been a great rivalry in the Eastern Conference of late, but are the Sixers still the Celtics' biggest threat in the conference? I'm Sierra Goodwill here with Josue Pavon and Nick Gelso. Nick, nice of you to join us.
I'm glad to be
Nice
here.
little surprise, Nick.
Nice of y'all to invite me, and yeah, it's good to be
Nice
here.
of y'all. What, are you from San Antonio?
Yeah, I was just
It's
hanging
your
out
favorite team,
with
is why you out here?
Pop, who I don't think is from San Antonio either, but
I think they adopted him at this point.
y'all.
Yeah.
So the Sixers had that big win over the Milwaukee Bucks on Christmas Day, but then they lost 4 straight after that. It's been well documented throughout the whole season that they have a little bit of a strange roster makeup. They don't really have a shooter. They have a lot of height, but Al Horford has kind of shown signs of displeasure in Philadelphia. So do you think that the Sixers are still this big bad team that are the biggest threat to the Celtics come playoffs?
I don't think they're the biggest threat, but I think they're one of them. I think they're still in the mix, right, Nick? I mean,
They have to
obviously
be
the
in the
Celtics
mix.
do still have a better record than them right now, but I think they're still in the mix because of what they do defensively. Now, when it comes to offense, you said it. They're shooting. That's been a huge disappointment for them. You know, Josh Richardson has been good. He's been good, especially on the defensive end, but he hasn't been that kind of outside threat that they've had in the past. You know, Nick and I have been covering this back and forth between the Celtics and Philly for the last couple of years, whether it was J.J. Redick or whether it was a guy off the bench. You know, Thibault, the rookies, has been showing some potential from behind the arc, but I just think when it comes to Philly, it really boils down to the defense. And if they want to be successful and come out of the East, they're going to have to figure out or at least solve that problem from the outside shooting somehow.
The defense, but also the mental toughness. I think that's always been an issue there. We talked about it the year that the Celtics had no business winning when Isaiah was hurt, and it was a fun series. Remember, they blew the cannon off and
the confetti. That's right.
That was one of my favorite
No,
games.
Kyrie didn't play. That's right.
Kyrie didn't ruin anything yet. So, but Al Horford, you thought was going to solve that problem, and maybe he has. I don't know, but it seems to me like it's the same deficiencies: 2 steps forward, 3 steps back. Philadelphia, they're obviously in the mix, but are they the scariest team in the world? I say no. I think the Celtics are the biggest shock in the East, probably coming out, and be Miami, Boston, and that.
Right.
Yeah.
I think the Celtics are in a good position compared to where they were last year, where the regular season Boston Celtics last year kind of handled the Philadelphia 76ers, yet you still were nervous about if they were to face each other in the playoffs. I didn't like Boston's chances last year with that, whereas this year, okay, they lost their 2 first games against the Sixers, but I still think come playoff time, it is an extremely competitive series. I think Celtics right now look like they would have the edge in that series based on they seem like a more balanced team. They seem like a team with more chemistry. So are the Sixers?
Excuse me for interrupting you.
Yeah,
but
no
I think
worries.
That's the point. Is Philadelphia seems to always lack chemistry. I don't know if it's Ben Simmons, who's supposed to be a playmaker. You think that if it's the lack
When he
of
doesn't have the
shooting-
ball, he doesn't make plays.
No,
And then the one player you least expect to speak out, Al Horford
is
throwing shots about his
complaining.
role. Right. You would never see that
so
in
Celtics
Boston
fans,
or Atlanta.
No,
even.
and Celtics fans go out and say, oh, well, you know, Danny did this and that, and he wasn't happy. Al Horford was a model citizen here. There's got to be something going on in that locker room that's not to his liking.
Well, I'm surprised that
especially if he's getting paid $30 million. How much is he getting paid?
Well, yeah, that's a whole nother
I mean, there
conversation.
are
But
people-
I'm surprised that he didn't see this coming. I mean, he
Right.
knew he was going to be one of the
Yeah,
top
but
2
he just got out.
offensive
Look
options.
where he was last year.
That's
that
true.
was hell.
Well, they don't run the offense through him, and that's obviously going to be quite an adjustment
Yeah.
after you've been doing that in Boston for so many years.
And he run point.
I mean, there were people who were saying that the Sixers team was a surefire NBA champion contender, could win 60-plus regular season games. So this is a team that was severely overrated.
Yeah, I think this is a great opportunity for Celtics to send a message. I mean, with or without Embiid.
They need to.
Yeah, especially after what happened. And I don't think they forgot what happened the first game of the season.
Yeah.
You know, I think they still carry that with them. Obviously, the winning has sort of overlapped what happened the first time they were in Philadelphia this season. But I do think Celtics are going to put up a great fight.
Yeah.
I just, you know, people are going to put an asterisk over it without Embiid out there. So we'll see. But I expect a big game out of Al Horford. I really do. I think that's one guy you should look out for.
He knows the offense, and I agree. I mean, I think that Philadelphia, they'll play them hard. Boston needs to really rally because they've been struggling since Christmas, really.
Absolutely.
So.
This Garden Report is brought to you by Policy Genius. If you need life insurance and you're not sure where to start, head to policygenius.com. It's extremely simple. Just takes a few steps to find your right plan, apply, and cross another thing off your to-do list.
Right. It's
When
never
it
too
comes to
early.
life insurance, it's nice to get it right. So head to policygenius.com. For all the rest of our Celtics coverage, head to our website at CLNSmedia.com and subscribe to our YouTube channel at CLNS Media.